Football is an emotional sport. It brings the best and worst out of fans. So, let's take a look at the most emotional moments in football history. Jonas Gutierrez saves Newcastle. In 2013, Newcastle winger Jonas Gutierrez found out that he had cancer. Football was the last thing on his mind as the Argentine underwent life-saving surgery.
Life is life. It's not easy for anybody. It was like a test that the life put to me, and I go through, and it was a really big experience.
Thankfully, Gutierrez was able to recover, and 2 years later he was back in the Newcastle team.
Amazing to receive that kind of support of all the fans. I had to just say thank you.
At the time when he returned, Newcastle were facing relegation. So, when Gutierrez scored on the final day of the season to keep Newcastle in the Premier League, the fans went mad. A man who almost lost his life saving a historic club from relegation brought thousands of fans to tears.
I'm here, I'm back, I'm enjoying playing football. It's like a second chance in my life, so I'm really proud to be a Jordi. It was fantastic to be here in this stadium today.
Christian Eriksen returns to the national team. The entire world was shocked when Danish midfielder Christian Eriksen collapsed on the pitch at Euro 2020.
This does look serious. Well, players knew straight away that was a heavy fall.
Eriksen was essentially dead on the pitch, having suffered a cardiac arrest. It was an incredibly emotional incident, which thankfully Eriksen survived. He was fitted with a defibrillator device that looked like it would end his footballing career. Eriksen left his club side into Milan, and we thought we might have seen the last of the former Tottenham midfielder on a football pitch. It brought almost every football fan to tears when Eriksen returned to the Danish national team less than a year after he collapsed, scoring just 2 minutes after coming on against the Netherlands. Leicester honour their owner. Leicester City's rise was partly down to Thai billionaire businessman Vichai Prabha, who bankrolled the team to their Premier League title. In 2018, after a Leicester game at the King Power Stadium, Vichai's helicopter crashed shortly after taking off. 4 people were killed, including Vichai, and Leicester lost their owner. In the team's next home game, Vichai's son, Ayavat, became the chairman of the company, and the club put together a video honouring their owner. It was emotional seeing Leicester fans honour a man who had helped them produce one of the biggest miracles in football history. To add to that, seeing Vichai's son at the game, in tears, pulled on the heartstrings of every fan watching the game. Buffon leaves Juventus. There might not have been a man who gave more to a single club than Gianluigi Buffon did to Juventus. Having joined in 2001, Buffon would finish his time in Italy with a whopping 10 titles with Juve. He also won the Coppa Italia 5 times with Juventus and was Serie A goalkeeper of the year 13 times. He has the most appearances for Juventus as well as the most appearances in Serie A. So in 2021, when it was announced that Buffon would be playing his final game for Juve, everyone knew it would be an emotional moment.
Dopo che ha visto...
Buffon started in the team's Coppa Italia final and got the send-off he was looking for, with Juventus winning 2-1. He lifted the title himself and every Juventus fan was in tears as one of the greatest Juventus servants retired. Dortmund lose the title on the final day. Borussia Dortmund were in pole position to end Bayern Munich's hold on the Bundesliga. Heading into the final game of the season, Dortmund just needed to beat Mainz at home to secure the title. They had already beaten them once in the 2022-23 season and just needed to do it again. Even better than that was that Bayern Munich were losing their final game of the season. But Dortmund conceded not once but twice in the first 25 minutes and were unable to overcome that deficit. Bayern Munich had come back in their game, and so when the referee blew his final whistle, Dortmund had missed out on the title. They could have won their first title in 11 years, but disappointed the fans when it mattered most. Players, fans and coaches alike were inconsolable on the pitch. Bradley Lowry. Sunderland fan Bradley Lowery captured the hearts of football fans around the country when he befriended Sunderland striker Jermaine Defoe. Lowery was terminally ill with neuroblastoma and sadly passed away in July 2017 when he was just 6 years old. His funeral was an incredibly emotional moment for the entire football community. A child who had given fans so many happy moments had succumbed to his horrible illness, and fans lined the streets to honour Lowery, and his family saw it as an incredibly touching tribute to the youngster. Defoe was one of the pallbearers of the funeral, and it was an incredibly emotional moment for all involved.
I think about little Bradley because his love's genuine, and I can see it in his eyes when he looks at me. So it's just it's special. So yeah.
Tommy Lawrence interview. Tommy Lawrence was a goalkeeper who played for Liverpool, Everton and Wolves in a 21-year career in the 1950s, 60s and 70s. In 2015, long after Lawrence had retired, he was walking down the streets of Liverpool when BBC journalist Stuart Flinders asked him if he remembered the 1966-67 FA Cup fifth-round game. What Flinders did not realise was that he was talking to someone who was playing in the game. Lawrence shocked the reporter when he said, "Yeah, I do. I played in it. I was the goalkeeper for Liverpool." Lawrence spoke glowingly about an incredible game between two exceptional teams and looked thrilled that someone was interviewing him about it. The clip went viral, and it is a clip that gets every football fan smiling. West Ham in the Conference League. One fan base who were given something to smile about recently were West Ham. Hammers fans have been close to relegation over the last few years, despite a lot of talent on their team. The 1980s were the last time that West Ham won a trophy, so their trip to the Europa Conference League final gave the Hammers a great opportunity at claiming an incredible trophy. In the final, a Jared Bowen goal led West Ham past Fiorentina in a 2-1 victory for West Ham, with the London club winning their first European title in 58 years. The West Ham fans who travelled to Prague for the final were in tears and could not control their emotions. It was an incredible moment for West Ham fans. Brazil embarrassed themselves in front of their own fans. Hosting a World Cup brings a lot of pressure, and Brazil wanted to reach the final and face Germany in the semi-finals. In front of their home fans who were desperate for a World Cup trophy, Brazil put in an embarrassing performance without their superstar Neymar. Germany were 5-0 up within 30 minutes, and Brazilian fans were distraught by full time. Germany scored 7 goals before Brazil were able to get on the score sheet themselves, and it was one of the most shocking results in football history.
What a night they're going to have. They might have number 7 here now. They have got 7.
There were fans crying all over the place, and the players could not have been any more emotional. Brazilian players were crying their eyes out after an embarrassing performance in front of their home fans. Lionel Messi wins the World Cup. The World Cup does also bring some happy moments. Lionel Messi looked like he would end his career without the illustrious trophy, as he had lost in the 2014 final to Germany. So, in 2022, Argentina knew it would be the final time that they could win the trophy for Messi. Well, Messi went into a whole different mode and helped his national team to the final, where they would face reigning champions France. France might have scored 3 times, but Argentina scored 4 times, and Lionel Messi was able to end his international career as a world champion. It was a moment that made all football fans smile. Well, except Ronaldo fans, I guess. Those were the most emotional moments in football history. If you liked the video, why not hit the like button and subscribe? Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.